I might fall down. Well, you know what? I want to ask you a couple of questions. I want to ask you, who are you following? And I also want to ask you, who are you connecting yourself with? And the third question I want to ask you is, who are you collecting? Because we all have mentors, whether you consciously select them, and we all have people that we are accountable to and that we're buddies with, and then we all have people that are watching us. And so as I tell you my story, you're going to see why there were twists and turns and what made the biggest difference. When I started in Mary Kay, you know, I'm going to take you back 30 years. Yes, 30 years. I didn't start Mary Kay 30 years ago, but that's where this journey began. You know, I became a consultant probably, I think, the first time, because I was a consultant twice. And I was a director twice. And I didn't have this perfect journey that you hear someone who they came into the business and they became a director, you know, in 5 minutes and earned cars and all of that. I actually started the business the first time I was 18. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I wasn't able to go back to school, and I came home and I had called one of my mentors. Even at a young age, I knew who to follow. And that was my high school English and dance teacher and drill team teacher, and like everything else. Pam Shaw was my high school teacher when I was 14 years old. God placed her in my life. Can you believe that? That was 30 years ago. It's a long journey, and it's been an incredible journey. So when I signed my agreement, honestly, she wasn't going to do anything with the business. She signed up, I think, on a whim. She's the last person in the whole entire world that I would have ever thought would do this. And she said, Cindy, this would be so good for you, because I didn't know what I was going to do, and you love makeup. And so I signed my agreement. I went to seminar, and she went to drill team camp. And I came back, and I was like, oh my gosh, Pam. I was transitioning out of Miss Waldrop. I was like, Pam, you would be so good. Oh my gosh, this is so great. And she said, no, this would be great for you. And so I was a consultant for a little while, and then she caught on, and you'll hear her story later. And she continued on, and I quit. Because I was in love, out of love. I was moving here, I was moving there. You know, I don't know where you were at 18, but... So I thought, okay, no, this isn't working. I'm going to move on. And so I placed my last order for her to finish directorship, and I quit. And then I was moving around and all that. Did you ever realize, like, wherever you go, there you are? So everywhere I went, I just kept, you know, and so there was always stuff happening, and I tried to run away from it, and I didn't want to face my problems, and that's what kept happening. And so then I decided I was going to get married. I was like, woo, okay, this sounds good. He's really nice. So that's what's next. So I got married, and I'm really honestly not kidding. So that's about how much thought went into it, and Pam was in my wedding, and she was doing really well with Mary Kay. She had quit teaching, and she was driving the Cadillac, and I thought, you know what, maybe I'll give this a try again. And so I did. I became a consultant again. I moved to Naples, Florida, so this was in West Palm, and then I moved to Naples, and I became a consultant again, and I started working the business. And you know, have you ever, like, I would set goals depending on like what the event was coming up. And so I decided that it was approaching seminar, and I didn't want to go to seminar and clap for everyone again. It's no fun when everyone walks across stage, you have one ribbon, don't look down. And you're sitting there going, yeah, this is really great. You know, it's so long. So I decided in April that I was going to do the National Court of Sales.
April, May, June, 3 months.
Is a pattern, right? So I decided in April I was going to do a National Court of Sales, and I started selling, and I really did. I started selling, and I earned my first diamond ring. I went to seminar, I did the National Court of Sales, and I got on target for my car on accident. Because it happens. When you start holding appointments and you're selling the product, you start recruiting people, right? You don't even try, you start recruiting people, and it was wonderful. It's So I got on target for my car, and I went to seminar. I was so excited, and I came home, and I earned my car, and then postpartum depression. I don't even know how this happened. I don't know how I earned the car. I don't deserve this. What am I going to do? You know, I was like beating myself. I was just crazy. I know Pam has earned every dime. I made her a lot of money today. She's like, yes. So I was really upset, and I really was. I was depressed. And so what happens, and I want to warn you, because you can go to career conference and you can go real high, and then you can go home and you can go real low, because you're amongst your girlfriends and you're really excited, and I don't want that to happen to you. And that's what happened. I crashed. And so, you know, so the car came in, and the seminar came around. It was April again, and I decided, you know, I wanted to walk across stage, and so I became a sales director. And so that's when I set my goal. I became a sales director. And then at that time, when I became a director and I went to seminar, I had a hottie in my unit. And so I was really good at this business. And so I told her what to do. And so I told her what to do, and I thought if I told her what to do, I didn't have to do it. And so she did it. It was great. I was like, woo! You know, so she was doing it, and I was making a lot of money, and I was partying, and it was a lot of fun. And she became a sales director. You know, and then all of a sudden I'm like, where'd they go? So I lost my directorship. Can you imagine? I know. So I went to seminar. I moved to New Jersey, and I'd grown up in South Florida my whole life. And my husband at the time got a job in New York, and so we moved to New Jersey. And when I moved there, I continued to make bad choices. And so then I lost my directorship because I hadn't held a skincare class in at least a year. And I really went through a tough time, a tough season. It was a tough winter in New Jersey. And that seminar, I still went to seminar as a red jacket. And my offspring sales director was the top 3 in Pam's area. She was a Cadillac director. And it was very humbling. But I knew I had to be there. I had a consultant that wanted to go, and she had a dream. Who are you collecting? Who are you influencing? Because they're watching you, no matter where you are and what you're doing with your Mary Kay. You need to be a light. And so I went, and some of my girlfriends over there remember, and I went to my room, I would cry, I'd come back out, and I would face the day. And I went through that seminar, and I went home, and I told Pam, I don't want to be a director, I don't want this group and stuff, you know, of course. And I proceeded to, like I said, make bad choices. And then I woke up, and I was 29 years old, and I went, oh my goodness, what have I done? And so I decided to start making some changes. And at that time, I had made a mess of my marriage. I had made a mess of my life. I went through a divorce. I moved into my apartment, and I started to seek God. And I found an incredible church, and I rededicated my life to Christ. I can't leave that piece out because God literally changed me in a moment. Pam and I had an incredible lunch where I shared something with her, and God used her. And she prayed with me, and she gave me the courage. When I went home, it was unbelievable what happened. After 10 years being in the business, and after years of making bad choices, I got alone. I got by myself. I moved into a little one-bedroom apartment, and I started working. I started working this business like Mary Kay had intended. She didn't intend us to get into debt. She didn't intend us to rob Peter to pay Paul and to just get diamonds and then go home feeling like we didn't deserve it. That's not what she wanted. And so what I started to do is work the marketing plan. And I started to pray. And I would go to my church, and that was another good choice, a good mentor, a good pastor. And so I started choosing the right people to be mentors to me again. And then, after 10 years in the business, I earned my first pink Cadillac and my first bar pen. about the diamonds, and it didn't matter anymore about the recognition, because you know what? I knew who I was. I was a princess of the Most High God. That when you know who you are, everything else falls into place. And so people started collecting good people, strong workers. And so out of that, not only was it a Cadillac and that first bar pin, but just a year later, being able to buy my own home and to be able to impact other women's lives and them earning their cars, and then doing the $900,000 unit club after nothing. After not being able to pay my bills and not being able to make ends meet, and feeling bad because I wasn't doing the business right, because I was just recruiting people just to recruit people, and I was just doing the court of sales, just buying it. And instead, I didn't have a credit card. I sold it and did triple star without a credit card. You can do that and be able to save and buy a home where you put a lot down and you don't need a man. Woo! And so let me just tell you something, that this incredible company, you know what? They didn't kick me when I was down. That this was always a safe place for me to fall down and to get back up again. And who I have become in the process is so much better than who I was before. And it takes falling down in order for us to be able to learn who that person is and where she is. And I wouldn't trade my journey for nothing. And even though it took me 10 years, the process was worth it. And I am so grateful for now who my friends are, and traveling the world with people like Tammy, and like Laura, and like Roya. And those are the people that I can call now to give me good sound advice. And I also just want to publicly thank you, Pam. There have been times that I have fought you because you raised me to a higher place, always. You always challenge me, and you have never, ever looked at me as anything less than what you believed I could be, ever. You have always believed in me, and I appreciate you so much. And I thank God